Once a week I volunteer as a Rainbows leader as part of the Girl Guiding Association. This immensely influences my identity and representation. Here I plan and set up activities for 3 to 6-year-old girls. The activities are set out to help and aid the development of the girls. I also lead activities such as painting, baking and games. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Rainbows helps me build up my self-esteem needs as I feel as though I am doing something positive with my life which helps me feel empowered. This makes it more likely for me to fulfill my actualisation needs as I am working towards my goal of a rewarding career of assisting children with special educated needs in an educational setting. I also feel as though I am part of a group of people with similar aspirations and gaining similar experiences. Communication I have with others and the information I choose to share with others and how others perceive me helps me create a sense of self. My open self is what I know about myself and what I feel confident about sharing with others. For example, at Rainbows I feel confident to share that I am a college student who wants to work with children with special educational needs. I feel as though I have quite a large open self at Rainbows as I feel pretty confident to share information about myself. This aspect of my life is a lot larger than other features in my life. In the classroom, for example, my hidden self is bigger as I do not know everyone as well and I do not share the same aspirations. The relationships I have with people in my class is also very different to the relationships I have with those who I volunteer with. My position at Rainbows doesn't just reveal things about my open and closed self, it tells me things about my blind self that I wasn't aware of before. My blind self is what I don't know about myself that others know about me. For example, I did not feel as though I was capable of leading a group activity on my own, but then I was told that I was quite good at it. My hidden self has changed over time as I worked at Rainbows. My hidden self is what I know about myself but choose not to share with others. For example, when I first started Rainbows, I shared very little about myself with other volunteers as I didn't want them thinking negative thoughts about me. But as I got to know them more, I shared more information about myself as I don't feel as though I am going to be judged. This is self-disclosure. This shapes my identity as I act upon how I am perceived by others and how I feel others may perceive me. For example, I first put on a persona that I was really well organised and hard-working, when that probably isn't as true as I made out to be. This is done by using a script of phrases like, I can get this sorted, or using props such as a notebook where I can jot down things we need in later weeks. This is also linked to gatekeeping as I filter the information I choose to share with others so that I can protect myself from negative strokes in the form of, she's just another teenager who isn't taking this seriously. Some people may perceive me this way as I spend my time like many people my age. However, they probably will judge me based on my social life rather than my educational life, as they probably have a wider knowledge of what is involved in teenagers' social life compared to their educational life. I try to negotiate my identity so that I don't get stereotyped as that typical lazy teenager, so that I can become closer to my ideal self. I do this by putting emphasis on things that I have done for preparation of activities in hope that people would realise that this is me trying to be productive and being organised for that day. I represent my identity through non-verbal communication in the form of clothing, as I wear a blue polo shirt and I wear a badge with the Girl Guiding logo. This represents me as a leader of a Girl Guiding group and the badge represents me as being a member of the Girl Guiding Association. This communicates to people through non-verbal cues that I am approachable and that you can ask me any questions. The uniform also makes me look more mature and that I am doing something positive. This also supports Kaufman's theory of our identity being an act, as the costume/uniform supports my persona as being an organised leader who is very mature. There is a group of people called postmodernists that believe that our identity is fluid, meaning that it changes all the time. I agree with this to some extent because I at times put on different personas and behave in different ways. However, this is not necessarily changing your identity. Your goals and aspirations are still the same. It's just my behaviour and persona that changes, but I am still the same person behind that. However, I agree that it can change over time. Like myself, my identity has changed from someone who is very immature and not very confident to somebody who is quite mature and confident. When I started this, acting mature was a cynical performance. I knew I was acting. As time went on, this became more of an achieved identity, and I now feel like it is a sincere performance. I don't feel like I'm acting anymore, as this has become quite a natural performance. In society, volunteering is seen as a very positive thing, as you are seen as though you are devoting your time to others. Some people see it as making a positive contribution to the community. In my case, I can be seen as somebody who makes a very positive impact on the lives of young girls who attend the group. To some extent, like the looking glass theory, I view myself in the reactions of others. Because of this, I view myself as somebody who is doing something quite positive. However, I do not take what everyone thinks on board. It just depends on the context and the relationship I have with that person. From these views, I get really positive strokes, as I feel empowered, as I feel as though society thinks quite highly of those who volunteer. For example, I normally receive positive strokes in the form of people saying, "Wow, what you do sounds really good. I bet it is really rewarding."